wonderful to see
Hey.
you.
Tina Perkins is on our show today. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on here at last minute when I begged you.
I never have a schedule. I'm so by the minute. So I'm like, sure, I'll be there.
I love it. On the whim.
We are too. We are
Yeah.
too.
So Tina teaches at Syracuse University,
Yes.
correct? And what is the class or classes like? What is the title of the kind of the class that you teach mainly?
The class began in 2016 when Newhouse, a colleague of mine, said, "Hey, they want to start a voiceover class. Can you teach it?" And they called it the Art of the Voiceover. And I said, "Great. What's
Art
the
of the Voice-
content?" "Well, I don't know. It's up to you." I'm like, "What?" As an adjunct, I thought, well, I've never really taught before, but I've been doing this since I was 19, voiceover.
Yes.
They said, just, I'll give you a syllabus template. You fill it in. This is your voiceover journey. You've been doing this. Share your expertise. And so it's since 2016, the class has been evolving. It went from 1 day a week
Yeah.
for 5
course.
weeks, which is a block, to now I teach 3 times in a semester. It's a 15-week course now. And a lot of
Wow.
it's a mixed bag of students, which can be challenging because we have broadcast journalism students and audio art students and visual and performing arts students all in one class. So, they're not all on the same level as far as technique. So my first thought was, let's get everybody on the same uh, on the same level, because as a voice actor, you can't just be a voice actor. You need the technical part of it. So let's get everybody
Right.
on that same page. And I
Yeah.
love it. I never realized how much I would love it.
Before that, you were a voiceover. I feel like you, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you kind of have like a radio background more. Like, how long have you been in voiceover before you started also doing this teaching as well? What was Tina before this?
Well, I
doing?
joined, I started with an internship at what is now iHeartRadio in Syracuse. And at the time, they had 2 radio stations. So I started, luckily, in this amazing studio. They were really ahead as far as the radio station and the tech. And I learned on Pro Tools. I started doing recording commercials. I really learned at SU, being part of the radio station and Newhouse as a student there. I graduated in 93, and I actually got hired at the radio station. At the time was Y94 FM, and then they added Hot 107 and a country station, B104.7. So here I am producing commercials for these different radio genres, hip hop, AC, and also putting together commercials and sometimes different versions of them. Some will work on the country station, some would work on the hot AC stations, as you know, with your radio demo, which is amazing. I learned a lot just by doing, and I voiced a lot. I got a lot of practice because, as you know, in radio, everything is quick. You don't have time to, Picasso, the masterpiece. A lot of times you have to get it on the air.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't
Get
want
it
to
out, done,
sacrifice.
yeah.
I don't want to sacrifice anymore. So I thought, I really like this. I want to go out on my own. I had my own radio show for 5 years, which was live on the air. It's an all request party.
Oh, wow.
It was
What was
called
that
the All
called?
Request
What
Party
was that?
and the Late Night Love Nest, which went up against Delilah.
Ooh, the late night love
I was
nest.
spicy Delilah, so I had the local flavor.
Yeah.
The local audience loved the show because they could be on there live, and at the time we didn't have a
Yeah.
dump
Could hear
button, so it was
themselves,
like,
yeah.
don't swear, don't. This is
Wow.
be nice. Yeah,
That's
it was
funny.
crazy, but
Yeah.
I miss those days of the live record or live performing.
Mhm.
And I after 15 years of working in the radio, I decided I really like the production part of it, doing promos. I also garnered quite a bit of local clientele, agencies and such. So my whole journey's
Nice.
been really grassroots. And the colleague that I knew at the time knew me from the radio station, and he was working in development at Newhouse and called and said, you'd be perfect for this. So I started teaching in 2016 and absolutely fell in love with it. It's so gratifying to see your students succeed. I have students that are so talented. They just really needed me to kind of point them in the right direction. And as a professor, I thought, okay, I'm really good. My format is radio. My genre is radio. Let me find, Michelle and a bunch of other of my colleagues that do commercial. Let me call some of my other colleagues that do narration. And they, they all were happy to do these master classes. So all of a sudden this, began growing, and the students are benefiting because, they're putting on their resumes, hey, I did a master class with Michelle Falenga. Wow. I haven't even graduated yet.
I don't know about
Holy
that.
crap. So,
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that'll get you
I know,
far in
right?
life.
And that yours was during COVID when we did Zoom.
Yes.
Zoom.
Oh my
So
God.
there you
That's
are.
right.
Oh, look at
I don't know if
Oh,
you
I
can
love
see where you
that.
are.
Where is she? Which
I
she's
feel like you can see
right on
me
the
up
top
at the
there.
top. I'm doing my
We
usual
had,
There you
I
are.
think we
Yeah.
had 28
But
students at the time, and it was during COVID. So
we did an interactive thing where we actually had them do some like reads and like
yeah.
change it up. Remember, I did
Oh,
some games,
fun.
like we did in our improv
Mhm.
episode. I did some.
Yeah.
I think I used that in our improv
Still
episode
one
where
of
we
my
like
best
did some
classes
improv games
still
and
to
stuff.
this day. So
Aw, that means a lot to me, because when you asked me to be on there, I was like, "Are you sure you have the right
so
person?
had the
Like
right
nobody
person.
cares."
She had
I thought that was
spreadsheets
so
and
nice.
presentations and little
I did.
share screen.
I'm a
It was
dork.
great. I just kind of sat
Prepared.
there in awe, you know.
Yeah, I love
So,
that. And I love that you're like, I know what I know, and I'm open to letting these students get all the
mhm,
benefits of all these other people that know what I don't know
mhm.
as much, and like bring them all the glory of
And I've learned
everything,
so
right?
much
Such a
teaching
gift.
from for
Oh,
me,
yeah,
I
sure.
learned as much as my students. And every year the
Hmm.
students they know so much more. So it's always learning back and forth, which is great.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I
They're
know I was
probably more
Mhm.
technical too,
Yes.
right? Or do you have more students now that come in and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I already kind of
Yeah.
know it," or
Which
"I've
is
already
why I
done
really
voiceover for all my
have
TikTok
to push
videos."
myself these
Yeah.
days to really, know the stuff. I had so many colleagues in my voiceover journey that were techies, and I call. I'm like, can you come over and set this up or whatever?
Yeah.
And, and I get going. So this last time I ordered, literally a couple of weeks ago, ordered a whole new, I use Pro Tools, and I ordered a whole system with an Apollo interface, and
That picture you sent
and
us,
Right, yeah.
I love it.
I put it all together myself. I did call tech support at Sweetwater. Love you guys. Uh,
Yeah, they're the best.
so I called and
Yeah.
they talked me through a lot of
Ours is
things, but I
sometimes.
was really happy because I had done it myself.
Other than, like, performance and things like that and having guests that obviously in master classes that'll help them, do you teach them, like, basics of, like, mic
Mhm.
technique and
Yep,
things like that
we
and
do it
all that
all.
first, first and
And
foremost?
it's wonderful
Yeah.
because Newhouse, I mean, they have beautiful studios and they teach their students, especially the audio art students. I have an engineer, so they're always, controlling and helping the students
Nice.
setting up the mic. I just be there as their coach, and the students are
I
so
love that.
I mean, they know more than me. I mean, let's be honest.
That is
And so
awesome.
we all help each other, which is great. And the
Yeah.
engineers at the
Mhm.
time, they're getting the experience of working with cutting commercial demos because our goal at the end of the 15 weeks is to cut a demo, a starter demo, a commercial demo. We touch on all the different formats all semester long
Mhm.
with I call it practice with a pro. And, Michelle was my
Mhm.
pro for the goosebump type
One
commercials
of them. During
during
COVID,
Yeah.
COVID,
yeah.
which was
Yes, yes,
amazing,
yes.
really.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
we got it done, and I had not met any of the students until the end of the semester when they finally lifted all the quarantine, and we met in the
Oh, okay.
studio, to actually record their final demos.
So you started with them and you were just virtual
Yeah.
with everybody at first. You didn't even get that
And when we
in-person stuff.
finally met, everybody
Interesting.
was taller than me, which was like, "Hey." Everybody looks all the same height in the
They're like,
Zoom.
"She's so little."
"Hi." Yeah, so it was a lot of
Oh my
fun. We
god, I
all
love it.
finally met
I love
each
it.
other and were able to actually hug and be like, "Oh, wow." We shake hands and say hi.
Mhm.
So, 2 things. One is this one's like a harder question. Dun, dun, dun. Um, like, I don't know if you're experiencing this, but we talked about it a few shows ago about like how the voiceover has kind of it's in a weird, it transitions
Mhm.
all the time, right? It can be really really good. And then it's kind of slowed down for a lot of voice talent in the last, like 2023 was kind of a tough year for a lot of voice talent. So like people will reach out to me and they'll be like, I want to get into voiceover, and they think it's all going to be like big money and all this stuff. And they don't realize like the realities of it. So do you ever do you feel like, I mean, I'm sure you still feel like hopeful, whatever, but like, do you feel like a little like, oh no, are these guys going to be able to do this? Like, like start this in this time. But I mean, I do feel like it's going to come back up
Oh, I think
again.
so too.
But so I'm just curious if you had any of that
Well,
thought
I never
process.
sugarcoat it. When we talk about voiceover, the first thing I always say is it's a lot of work. You are literally
Yes.
running your own business and your voice is your product. It's not
Smart.
going to be easy. You're going to have to
Right.
learn. If you don't know the editing and recording side of it, you need to learn that. You need to practice, 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 and invest a lot of learning before you go out there and start auditioning. So I've always,
Yeah.
said that. And it does get tough. And a lot of my students are visual and performing arts students, so they're used to that whole, 100
Yeah.
auditions might get you a
Yeah.
few jobs.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't sugarcoat it for them, and I say even as a side hustle, this requires a lot of work
Mm.
because I've been doing this for
Right.
25 years, but I've been transitioning in the middle of that for about 10. As
Yeah. Yeah.
with the radio imaging, I was doing a lot of producing of other people's voices, um, and
Mm.
and also trying to market myself as a radio imaging voice, and doing some commercial here and there. And I really,
Yeah.
once the teaching opportunity came, I was able to transition because I've got this, this great new challenge, but I'm also it's got a little bit of extra money coming in, so I can invest in
Yeah. Yeah.
in the
Supplement.
studio,
Yeah.
and I built from the ground up. So
What about the business end of it, which people don't talk about? They're like, okay, you got to train and you got to learn how to the mic technique and all the technical, but like a huge part of our job is the business. If they do want to do this and end up doing this as more than a high side hustle, they need to learn how to be a
yes.
business person, right? They need how to market and
Mhm.
do all that stuff. That's like, I think a lot of creatives have trouble
Right.
with sometimes,
Yeah.
which,
A lot of my guests, one main talking points are how did you market yourself? So they're basically giving
Mm.
that advice. We have a few classes that are dedicated to going through the internet and talking about the different sites that are available. That for example, yesterday we touched on ACX and Audible and how you can go
Okay.
there and use their resources. There's so many resources out there that are available for free that are amazing.
Mm.
And then there's also the investment where there are amazing coaches. So we talk about, who's out
Yeah.
there right now that is really, worth spending that money. Avoid the predators. Don't listen to people that are
Right.
going to say to you,
Yep.
oh yeah, give me, $2,000 and you'll start booking. No, you're not going to start
Yeah.
booking
And
right
you'll be a
away. This is
overnight
something that you have
success.
to pound the
Yeah.
pavement for. So we do talk a
Yeah.
lot about how to market yourself, and not just, and that's why we end up with a demo at the end. The students
Right.
actually collaborate. They're actually choosing the music, where I have copywriters that write for the students. This class is really giving them their money's worth, because, and I remind
That
them
is so
these
amazing.
demos, if you were going to go cut a demo, you're going to pay a few $1,000s. So this is your time.
Yeah.
Don't waste it.
Yeah.
Take your scripts. They're
Yes.
helping to write some of the pieces in their demo as well, just to make it more unique to themselves.
More
Mhm.
personalized. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Jess, you have to hear, maybe we can get one from Tina and she can send me and I can piece it in here.
The party lives here. Are you ready? This is Jonesboro's #1 party station, Hot 107.5. Forget making your own playlist. We're the playlist for the hits. Hot means more music. Let's keep it moving. When someone shows you the party manual, look inside the front cover and see who wrote it. We did. Hot 107.5, the party station. Those other guys on 101.7, they are so basic.
But you got to hear Tina. It's like she's so like a pro in the radio. Like when
Oh,
she did the
please,
like,
no.
first of all, just like me, you sound younger, right? Like
Yeah.
you have a younger sound just like I do. than we
Yeah,
are, to be fair.
exactly.
And you
Yeah.
sound so like cool. I'm like, she's a cool girl. And
I don't put my
she's got a
picture on my
fantastic radio
website
voice.
because I look so much
Right.
I'm in my 50s, so when they're looking for young, hip chick,
Yes,
you know, they
same.
don't I want them to listen to the demo and not
But you can
justify
do
my age.
that.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Excited,
Thank you
yay.
so much, Tina, for jumping on last
Thanks,
minute.
Tina.
What an honor.
Yay.
I'm a little starstruck, so thank you so much.
I should talk to Tina every time I want any kind of like feeling good about myself when I'm having one of those tough days, because she's always so
Oh,
lovely to
I need
me.
to call
I think,
Tina.
right? We're going to just call you. She gave me her text. I'm going to just text her. Tina, I need a pep
anytime.
talk. I'm having a tough day.
I have your t-shirt that says
Sounds good.
coffee's my spirit animal, but
I
you're
I
actually
love
my spirit animal, but you don't have a t-shirt that says that. So
Aw.
Aw.
I love her so
Michelle
much.
is my
I'm
spirit
gonna
animal.
start
How did you
typing now.
guys meet?
I think I stalked you on
Um,
LinkedIn and
I
found you.
feel like we kind of like
I
met.
think I stalked
Well,
you.
no, we saw each other on LinkedIn, and like we would. I don't know.
You
I can't even
received an
remember
award, and you posted you opening the box and holding it and be like,
the
yes,
Emmy Award.
and
The
so
Emmy.
I tried to connect, and you accepted
Connected back.
my connection, and the rest was history.
And then she asked me to be in the class, and I was, again, just like you, I was like, "Are you
Yes, oh
sure
my gosh.
you want me,
Me?
little me? I don't have anything," and that's my own imposter syndrome.
Yep.
Also, Jess, really quick, you should know that Tina, when I reached out to her about something, she was like, "Oh, I'm enjoying your show," and I'm like, "You're watching it?" Like,
We have a watcher?
we have a watcher. That's amazing. Like, that filled my heart. So thank
Aw,
you, Tina. She's always been so
yeah.
supportive. Like my T-shirt, she bought one of my T-shirt
Well,
designs.
that was
Like,
my
she's just
New
been
Year's resolution was
lovely.
to try to do all my Christmas shopping using my voiceover colleagues and anything that I could.
That is,
Oh, that is
So
so
I did
fun.
isn't that
That's a great
awesome?
I bought the
idea.
Higher Human
See how awesome
T-shirt and
she is?
the mugs and anything out there that I could.
Love
Yeah.
that about you. Thank you again, and we'll
Thanks,
talk soon,
Tina.
and we'll
It's great to
get
meet
on with the
you.
class. And thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna.
Tina, I love that you
record.
have a table, a glass table that has a memory from your
Yeah, a
mom
lot of things like all the art
built into your booth.
like all the art right here is from
Yeah.
my son. He he made it, and then I just keep all my stuff out on the shelves. Let's see here.
So
Apologize.
cool. Go back so we can see the
Yeah,
small
we're gonna
looking.
see. So Tina's been giving us a little behind the scenes look, and I said I need to record this because I love seeing other people's studios and
Yeah,
what
it's
your space
beautiful.
looks like.
So
It looks like a sauna.
Yeah.
It's really hot in there.
There's all my students
That's how you
there from all the years
Aw.
past. Trying not to drop my laptop.
When she first showed me her studio, I was like totally like, that's before I had the studio bricks, but like I love that look because it makes you feel calm, like that sauna feel.
Yeah, it does. I
right?
spend a lot of time
Yeah.
in here.
Look, Perkins, see her
And then
percolate.
my
Yep.
son actually made
Oh yeah,
this
Aw.
for me. It's huge. It's very heavy,
I
big
love
slab of wood.
it.
It was one of my Christmas presents. So
Isn't that beautiful, Jess?
I
knew
love
you'd
it.
like that. I knew
I
you'd
do.
like that.
That's why I'm like I have to record this. People have to see this.
Jess has a sauna, and I always joke if this career goes away, I'm going to make this into
Turn
a
that
sauna.
into a
all
sauna.
of the CDs here are from my radio show that I used to play, and they don't work
Oh,
anymore. And I don't
cool.
even think I have a CD player, but I keep all the CDs.
Who does? Nobody does.
Yeah.
It's
It
still
makes
a
great
memory.
preparation.
It personalizes your space, and it's
Yeah.
got a lot of love and memory. So that's a good thing to surround yourself with. So
It captures that 90s,
That's me.
when everything was about the compact disc. I like the headphones.
Yeah, I think my
Oh,
son
yeah.
bought me those. And then
It's just really simple.
the
I
art
love
is
that.
all my. I have two sons, and they all do art. So
Aw.
when I come in
love it.
here, this is my little happy place. And I'm very short, as you
Mhm.
see. So I actually brought the ceiling down
She's not
for
in the
myself
frame.
because I'm so short. So this is, if I have,
gotta
God
do what you
forbid
gotta do.
anybody else has to come in here and record because
Right? You get a really tall
like,
person
you're
come to
gonna have to
record.
squelch down because I'm not taking anything apart. And then there's my monitor.
Thank you for giving us a little
Yeah,
studio
we got our little
tour.
tour,
Right.
so we can add that at the end.
Oh, my
All right.
pleasure.